You persist too long after your own defeat. Come then, warrior. Have your resolution. So misguided. Humanity's imprisonment is a kindness.
In that case, you won't mind if we return the favor.
Your compassion for mankind is misplaced.
I'm not doing this for mankind.
You know, viewer, I really didn't want to cover this boss fight at all, but after thinking about it, I decided to include it because this section of gameplay, this one little bit, was greenlit by a team of people and decided that yes, having Master Chief climb up onto a bridge and press one button to kill him was perfectly okay. If we're gonna sit here on this channel and praise Kojima Productions for putting together the Fury boss battle, then 343 is gonna have to get their nose stuck in the poo and realize that doing this as a QTE sequence is a complete slap to the face of the thing that you built up as the biggest threat to humanity, despite the fact that the Gravemind is still out there with turbo-littering powers. Having this happen in a non-interactive cutscene would have been 5 times better than this insipid, disrespectful end to the Didact, and I expect better in Halo 5 and 6. One button to win? How could that go wrong? Every possible way. Now, this is something that you don't see every day. A series being handed off because the developer is moving on to other projects and now 343 is picking up the mantle. We've had examples of this happening with ND Cube taking over Mario Party, so 343 will have everything to prove with this game, and for what it is good. However, while it is apparent that 343 came into this project having done all the research and played through the main series from Reach to 3, the results are what you'd expect from a 7th grader's final research paper. They grasp the main points and a lot of the context, but they end up missing a couple important reasons and go through a couple misinterpretations. The first problem is how they tried to sneak a little retcon past longtime players concerning Cortana, who they did great work with and fleshed her out with an actual character where before it only been an annoying sarcasm as she's being racked with what can only be called AI Alzheimer's. This game says that Cortana was created by Dr. Halsey using a clone of her neural DNA. But no, 343, that's not right. Cortana was found by the research teams on Reach when they were looking for a latchkey artifact that would help them turn the tides of the Human Covenant War. Cortana was in a hole for over 2 centuries and taken to the Pillar of Autumn to find Halo 4, so it is strange that she'd suffer any age-related problems, really. Then there are the continuity problems, because 343 isn't explaining anything clearly. It's not illogical game-breaking like Halo 3, but it is missing a few key cogs. The Didact is able to turn the Covenant over to his will, but it's never explained how he's able to do that. The Covenant were on Requiem looking for the Didact in the first place, but no one knew he existed beyond legends and flavor text, and we arrived at Requiem 4 years from the Ark, just drifting as space garbage, so how the hell are the Covenant and humans both finding this place that was uncharted and unknown before the Forward Unto Dawn even arrived there? These are valid questions that just get glossed over, and we're presumed to just accept everything happening as fact, which I don't buy. Yes, I am the person who will nitpick about small details because having a close-knit story is something that's hard to do, and Bungie put in the work, so 343 needs to learn to abide. Despite that, the major story is that intrinsic good versus evil story that gives 343 a lot of room to develop in later games. After 4 years of traveling around as space garbage, Cortana and Master Chief are awoken by Requiem, a Forerunner shield world that steals their ship from space, and now the plan is to fuck off back to Earth. Halo 4 does the usual FPS puzzles to go around, get places, click buttons, and blow shit up, but everything that Master Chief needs to do is done by waving Cortana at all his problems. It's hilariously bad puzzle design because Master Chief ends up being a walking jump drive with a gun, the chauffeur that Cortana desperately needs. We try to fuck off from the unknown and uncharted planet that's only being met when the Forward Unto Dawn just drifted off in front of it by getting the Infinity's attention, which is a human frigate that found Requiem somehow, but instead get entangled by the Didact, a being who wants revenge on the humans because they killed his entire army when they had to run from the Flood, who no one told him about. He's free now and wants to use the Composer to imprison all humans, a device created by the Forerunners to save themselves from the Flood by digitizing flesh. The first experiment of it went wrong when the asshole no one tells things to uses it, and the reverse of the experiment left the Didact with his genocidal rage against the species that is destined to become the universe's overseers, a role that he wants for some dumb reason. Thankfully, we stop his ass eventually after he steals the Composer in a cool Death Star trench flying sequence where we just bitch slap his smug face with a grenade to the nipples, which then pots him into the, spirit hole from Disney's Hercules? Then we destroy the Composer with nuclear detonation, and because 343 loves plot holes, Cortana somehow saves him from that explosion. An AI saved Master Chief from a nuclear explosion. Cortana is presumed destroyed, and Master Chief returns to Earth for when the Covenant will eventually go down there to wreck up the joint. The narrative's fairly decent as it takes a lot of cues from Halo 1, and like Halo 1, Halo 4 suffers from the same gameplay issues where the normal amount of enemies being tackled at once is usually around 7, and that fills up the screen with a lot of irritating visual noise that screams you're being shot 70 million times, and the fact that there's so many enemies all the time means that you're constantly running out of ammo and scrambling the battlefield for bullets. It isn't helped when you end up going through a Covenant-filled section because 343 pulled the dumbest move possible and made nearly all the Covenant weapons run on batteries, meaning that you're cycling through 4 variations of the same plasma pistol just to get by using several more seconds you don't have. They also fall into the same pitfall as Halo 2 did in introducing the Brutes. The Prometheans in this game are just too damn powerful and too damn numerous. They have way too much health and usually have devastating weapons, and they can summon those god-awful Watchmen from their backs. Heaven help you when one of them gets their hands on an incinerator cannon, because that's an almost instant death if you ever try to get near it. Otherwise, the game's decent enough as a science fiction movie set to the tune of a controller, despite its flaws that can be worked out later, and even though 343 has a lot of improvement to do to even get to equal footing with Bungie, if they indulge in their own style, Halo 5 and 6 should definitely be an interesting split from the first Halo trilogy. But we're gonna be putting that off till next time, since the next video is gonna be Halo Spartan Strike, a sequel to the terrifically awful spin-off Halo Spartan Assault. I don't know if it can be fixed, but since it's set between Halo 4 and 5, we'll just have to see what it does. So until next time, here's your final numbers. and you can have a victory for gamers. Have a great week.